Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MTG Place podcast. I'm your host, Corey, and with me, like always, is James. How's it going, James?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Had some eventful, fun stuff happen this week. Start slowly down the path to become a judge, so I got an endorsement, and I just got to take the level 1 test, so I'm like 2/3 the way through
pretty
the
sick
classes and stuff.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
Also, we did last week. We launched our first gameplay video of us playing on Spell Table. Check that out if you haven't. It's over on YouTube. It's pretty cool.
Yep, it was pretty awesome. A lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, and then let's see. Well, let's jump into our sponsors here. First thing, we got TCG Player. We got an affiliate link. You might want to buy some of the cards we talk about today. So click that affiliate link in the show notes. It's also on our website, mtgplace.net, and that helps us out. So lets them know we sent you over there. Second way you can support us is directly on Patreon. You can go over there and sign up for whatever level and get access to all sorts of cool stuff, like hanging out with us, playing Magic games with us, talking to us early, all that stuff. I also throw in some unedited stuff, so you can see all the bloopers that we had during filming of our first gameplay video.
Yeah, a couple things happened, mostly on my end, so you get to see me being a dumbass. It's great.
And then lastly, if you're in our Discord, you can also sign up that way with the server subscriptions right through there. But so today we're talking about March of the Machines. It's coming soon.
New set. We got all the spoilers. Here we go. Hell yeah. So Wooburg order, as always, starting with the alphabetical A's or whatever, and rares and mythics only, because we're already going to be here a really long time going through all these, so yeah.
Yeah, so rares and mythics only. From the main set, we'll talk about the commander cards in a different episode.
Yeah, that's for another episode.
All right, so James, start us off with white.
So our first card of white and of the set is Archangel Elspeth. It is 2 white for a legendary planeswalker named Elspeth with 4 devotion counters, loyalty counters. +1, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. -2, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types and gains flying. -6, or the alt, return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
So what do you think about this planeswalker? It seems pretty good, right?
It seems really good. First of all, it's 4, which is the mana cost, which is kind of the sweet spot for like viable as far as like being able to be played. Second of all, that's a Sun Titan ability that's a global. I mean, for your yard at least.
Right, and I mean, and the +1 protects itself, gives you a 1/1 with lifelink. -2 makes something bigger with flying. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and that's not till end of turn. That's period.
But you're gonna play this in any token deck, any angel flying deck, anything 3 CMC or less matters deck. This is good in general. It's probably gonna be good in standard too.
Oh yeah, this is a bomb in standard for sure. And again, it costs 4. That's so quick. And it comes into play with 4. You get the ult in 2 turns. Literally, like that's ridiculous. This is really good. This is a really good planeswalker.
It's the Archangel of Elspeth.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet art too.
Yeah, I know, it looks sick. I love it.
All right, next up we got Boonbringer Valkyrie, which is 3 white for a 4/4 creature angel warrior with flying, first strike, and lifelink. But it has the new mechanic for this set called backup. So it's backup and then a number. And so the number is 1. So this is backup 1. It says when this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If that creature is another creature, it gains the following abilities till end of turn. So if you play it and target itself, it's just a 5/5 flying first strike lifelink. But if you target a different creature on your board, you get a 1/1 counter on that, and then it gains flying first strike lifelink until the end of turn. Which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Seems like a sweet card. I mean, 5 mana, 4/4 flying first. There's a lot of keywords to give to another creature.
Keywords are good for sure. Definitely awesome.
Definitely play this in the Catherall deck if you have one of those. The keyword matters.
Keywords matters. Yep, for sure. This is gonna work real well for that. Next up, we have Dusk Legion Duelist. It is 1 and a white for a 2/2 vampire soldier creature with vigilance. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on Dusk Legion Duelist, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Still, that's pretty good.
They had to put trigger only once each turn, man. Like I just wanted to draw so many cards.
This would be so broken if it was not.
It's still good every single turn. Like, and if you have like a tapper guy, like a creature that like taps to put a 1/1 counter or something, you could do it on like your turn with a spell, and then your opponent's turn with the tapper guy. And if you have a couple, you could do it on all 4 turns. Like, this is pretty good. Yeah. There's a 2-drop that can draw you some cards if you buff it.
Yep.
I like this card.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's good.
It's also a vampire and a soldier, so 2 cards, relevant creature types that need to get buffed.
And it's a 2/2 with vigilance just by itself for 2.
Right.
That's pretty good. Like, not bad.
Next up, we got Elish Norn.
Another one.
Yeah. So all the freighters are in this set too, because it's like the war going on.
Yeah.
So Elish Norn here is 2 white for a 3/5 legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor, with vigilance. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. And then it has pay 2 and a white, sacrifice 3 other creatures, exile Elish Norn, return to the battlefield transformed. Activate only as a sorcery. And the flip side is the Argent Etchings, which is a saga that says when it enters, you add a lore counter. So the first one is you incubate 2 5 times. So incubate, what that is you put a Phyrexian token into play with that many 1/1 counters on it that has pay 2 transform it into a creature. So it's normally just an artifact with 1/1 counters on it, and then you can pay 2 mana to turn into a creature. So you would make 5 incubate tokens with 2 1/1 counters on them, and then turn them all into creatures because you're transforming them all. So the first one's giving you 5 2/2s.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then the second thing is giving you all creatures you control get +1/+1 double strike until end of turn.
That's really good.
Yeah. And then the third one is destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Exile this card and then return to the battlefield back as Elish Norn, the front side.
Oh my gosh! So then you can keep doing this? Oh.
Yes.
Okay. That's gross.
Yeah, and all of them turn into sagas that then come back to themselves. Like, they're all very powerful cards.
That's very. I did not realize that last part when I was like reading these. Like, ooh, that changes everything. If they can't deal with those, the saga.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to blow it up. This is like a kill on sight or like destroy the enchantment when it's a saga or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good. That's very powerful. And just her ability of just like you take 2 if you like opponents like deal shit damage to you and stuff, or your permanents.
Yeah, like you could just block with like if you chump block with a 1/1 token, it's like they gotta take 2 life or pay 2. Yeah, or pay 1. Yeah, which if they're tapped out, then they're taking 2. So it seems phenomenal in like a token deck.
Yep, it's very good for a token, especially that saga. Because it not only makes tokens and then makes them bigger, and have like first strike or double strike?
Double strike.
Yeah. Okay.
And then just from everything but the tokens it makes, basically.
Yeah. So it's just like then you wipe the board, so then you can just swing for all out. So yeah, that's spicy. Good stuff for sure. All right, next up, we have Essence of Orthodoxy. It is 3 white for a 3/3 Phyrexian creature with flying. Whenever Essence of Orthodoxy or another Phyrexian enters the battlefield under your control, incubate 2. So that's, yeah. Create a token with 2+1/+1 counters on it and 2 to transform.
So 3/3 flyer
with
it's a 2/2 later.
Yeah, a 2/2.
So like later, like so in total, it costs you 7 mana for a 3/3 and a 2/2. I don't know. It's not super. Oh, but it's another Phyrexian. So if you play a Phyrexian deck, you can do it a bunch.
Yeah.
So I think you have to have that tribal synergy with it because you're not going to play it by itself.
No, by itself it's pretty weak. I mean it's mediocre, I guess, but yeah, with other Phyrexians this can be pretty good. So.
All right. Next up, we got Guardian of Girapur, 2 and a white for a 3/3 angel with flying. When this enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 other target creature or artifact you control. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So you can. It's a 3/3 for 3 flyer that flickers a thing.
Nice.
It's not bad. It's kind of like Resto, except we don't have flash. Costs almost mana though, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah, or like Wisp. It's kind of like Wisp in a way.
I'd play this. You'd play this in like Brago or something.
For sure. Yeah. ETB matters. All that kind of stuff. Being able to blink can be very powerful. So. Yep. That's very good. Next, we have a god card. We have Heliod, the Radiant Dawn. That is 2 white for a 4/4 legendary enchantment creature that's a god. When Heliod, the Radiant Dawn, enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card that isn't a god from your graveyard to your hand. Then it has 3 and a Phyrexian blue. Transform Heliod, the Radiant Dawn. Activate only as a sorcery. So then it flips to Heliod, the Warped Eclipse. It is a 4/6 legendary enchantment creature that's a Phyrexian god. You may cast spells as though they had flash, and spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponents have drawn this turn. Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, definitely interesting, especially if you have like if your opponent has Consecrated Sphinx or something that's drawing a bunch of cards.
Yeah, just drawing up the ass. Like,
this one I can flash.
Now your stuff is free. Yeah. That's nice.
You pay the colored mana, but
yeah, right. Yeah,
it's just colorless less, but
it's going to be a lot less though, probably. In the right scenario.
It seems like a good card. It's a pretty good Heliod. Yeah. The Heliod in generals have been pretty good.
Yeah, they really have. Yeah, I still play the OG one in my wrist deck just because it's really good with tokens. But yeah, very good.
Next up, we got our first battle. I'm actually gonna have you read the front side of this.
All right, give me one
second. It's gonna crick my neck trying to do
it. All right. So the front side is the battle, if you will, the siege, is Invasion of Gobakan. It costs 1 and a white for a siege. As a siege enters, choose an opponent to protect it. You and others can attack it. When it's defeated, exile it, then cast it transformed. That's just basically how these work. When Invasion of Gobakan enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. So then it has a defense of 3. And yeah, that's basically it.
So then you play this, give it to your opponent, and then say if it's a 2-player game, 3-4-player game, give it to a different one, but whatever. So give it to your opponent, and then it's kind of like having to attack your own type of planeswalker thing, but it's a battle. So you attack your own battle, swing at it for 3. They can block, so you don't get the flip side, but you get the enter effect right away.
Yeah.
And so you swing at it, and then it's going to transform into the Light Shield Array, which is an enchantment that at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn. and then you can sacrifice it. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until its turn.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so like, what was it? You exile a card and they have to pay 2 more to cast it. Is the first part for only 2, and then if you get hit this, you're gonna, buff all your creatures with hold on counters.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's pretty good for only
and
2.
then you literally have like basically almost in a way like some a board wipe kind of, or maybe not board wipe, but like removal protection for your board. So it definitely stops a lot of things, which is good. I mean, it's indestructible, so yeah, that actually would stop.
Unless to exile all.
Yeah, like what is it? Zealous persecution, or is like exile everything. Like, yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to deal with your board there. So yeah, that's very good for creature based stuff. All right, we have another one here, so I'll read the front side again. This time it's Invasion of Theros.
So here's where they're fighting on Theros. Like, all these are cool artworks because it's like the battle's going on in all the planes at once.
All different planes. Like, yeah, this is pretty cool. So Invasion of Theros is 2 and a white for a siege. So same thing as the other one. But when Invasion of Theros enters the battlefield, search the library for an aura, god, or demigod card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And it has a defense of 4.
Yeah, so then if you hit that, you flip to the backside of Ayara, the Ever Sheltering, which is a legendary enchantment god creature that's a 4/4. It has lifelink and indestructible as long as you have at least 3 other enchantments under your control. And whenever another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card.
That's pretty good.
That backside is bonkers.
That's great, especially if you have a very heavy enchantment deck.
Yeah, enchantment deck backside is bonkers.
Like, you draw a lot of cards.
And front side just gets you a card, right? Like, you're getting an aura enchantment, or a god, or a demigod.
Or a demigod, or whatever. So you're probably going to get something so that you'll be able to draw right away, basically. So that's pretty good. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so this is when if you play it, your opponent might actually want to protect it because they don't want you to get this 4/4 lifelink indestructible that lets you draw a bunch of cards.
That's a good flip for sure. In the right kind of deck, that's pretty powerful. All right, next up, just a regular card this time. We have Knight Errant of Eos. It is 4 and a white for a human knight creature. That's a 4/4 with Convoke. When Knight Errant of Eos enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, or X is the number of creatures that convoked Knight Errant of Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle.
Yeah, so Convoke is you could tap creatures to pay for colorless mana or the color of the creature it is. So you could tap 5 creatures, one of them would have to be white, to play this guy for no mana if you just tapped 5 creatures. And then you would look at 6 cards, reveal 2 creature cards that cost 5 or less, and put it into your hand. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like almost like a mini like Genesis wave or something like that. It's just pretty awesome. And a creature, like, not bad.
I mean, 4/4 knight creature that can draw you 2 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it's not great, but it's not bad.
No,
it's
pretty.
It's pretty decent. Again, it's good in token decks too because you can just tap a bunch of tokens.
Yeah, the fact that you can basically play it for free is very powerful. But that's probably how you would want to do it, though. Otherwise, then its ability doesn't really work. So
yeah, you definitely want to convoke it for sure. And if for some reason you have a way to make it cost more, you could actually do that.
Like, make it even better.
if your opponent says, "Oh, all spells cost an extra 1 mana," well, then you could technically convoke 6.
Yeah. So then it's even better.
Next up, we got a reprint, Monastery Mentor, 2 and a white for a 2/2 human monk with prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. This was a staple of Legacy Miracles for the longest time.
Yep. Very good card. It was in Modern, I believe, if I remember right, for a bit too.
Yeah, this is just a bonkers card.
Yeah,
Or
it's
any
just
sort of
everywhere.
spells matters deck.
Yep. Very, very, very strong. So I'm sure we'll see it in standard too.
Yep.
Next up, you got Progenitor Exarch. It is XX white for a 1/2 Phyrexian Cat Cleric creature. When Progenitor Exarch enters the battlefield, incubate 3x times. And then it has tap, transform target incubator token you control.
That's
So you
pretty
can
good.
literally just tap to do it instead of paying 2. That's pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, so if you pay 3 mana, you get a 1/2 and a 3/3, and then next turn you can flip your 3/3 into the creature.
Yeah.
Or the 3 counter token into the creature. That's pretty cool.
That's nice.
I think this is better the cheaper, like if you have a lot of incubate token traders. And if the cheaper you play this for, the better, I think. Because I don't know, like, let's say you dump, 11 mana into this, getting like 5 3/3s for 11 mana. It's not like super great return.
Yeah, it's not so.
It's like I think you play this for like 3 or 1, or just the 1 drop most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and just use other.
I think the 3 is probably the best case scenario. Like 3 for a 3/3 and a 1/2 is pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's decent stats.
Yeah, so I think you
and
just
then you
pay
get
one
the
for
and then you
access.
get the 3/3 for free basically.
Right, because you just got to tap this to flip it.
You just tap it. So yeah, that's an interesting mechanic.
And it's a Phyrexian Cat Cleric.
Yeah,
so
it's
a cat deck, a Phyrexian deck, or a Cleric deck. You can play it.
It's quite the text there. Yeah.
Creature types.
All right, you got the last one here.
Okay, so next up we got Sunfall. 3 white for exile all creatures. It's a sorcery. Exile all creatures. Then incubate X, where X was the number of creatures exiled this way. So you make 1 token that has a boatload of 1/1 counters on it.
Yep, so it's kind of like Phyrexian Rebirth in a way.
Yeah, it's really similar to that card, actually.
I think it's pretty close to the cost too, if I remember right. So yeah, not bad, not like the best, but it's decent.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it's not the worst.
Yeah. Oh, that's white. White's got some crazy it's got Elspeth. It's got Elishnorn. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, Elishnorn and Elspeth are just bonkers, right?
Yeah. Heliod's pretty good, and then like the battles the Theros battle especially is very good, I think. And of course, Mentor is just Mentor, so yeah.
I mean, if you need a Mentor, that it's cheaper to pick up Mentor now. I don't know what it's actually going for before, but
well, it's gonna be cheaper here most likely. So now's the time to get it. So now we are on to blue. So our first blue card is Chrome Host Seed Shark. It is 2 and a blue for a 2/4 Phyrexian shark creature with flying. What the hell? Whenever it's a flying shark, I guess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, incubate X, where X is that spell's mana value.
It looks like it's another Sharknado, right? Like it's a
really
flying
does.
shark and a tornado.
It's got a tornado in the background.
It actually is just as good as Sharknado almost too, because whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you're incubating X, or X is its mana value. And Shark Typhoon, you create a token equal to its mana value. So pretty almost the same. So this one costs 3 instead of like 6.
Yeah.
But the incubate tokens, you got to pay 2 to transform them. So it still seems really good.
Yeah, in a Spells Matters deck, this is very, very good, I think. You can get a lot of big creatures out of this. And especially if you're playing like a blue deck that has like a bunch of like, rocks or like, say a Mana Vault or something like that, you don't care. Like you're just going to transform them as fast as you can. So.
Right, yeah. Next up, we got Complete the Circuit. It's 5 and a blue for an instant with Convoke. You may cast sorcery spells this turn as though they had flash. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. Okay, so you
Dear Lord.
tap
Okay.
6 creatures, instant speed. Boom. Hit this, complete the circuit. Now I can cast instant or sorcery because the sorcery has flash, and then it's going to be copied, so I'm going to get 2 extra of whatever I'm playing. That's bonkers.
Yeah. This is... There's a lot of decks that can...
Because
really
even
this.
with Lava Axe, it's tap 6 creatures, pay 5 to deal 15 damage.
Yeah, literally. You almost kill them with that shitty-ass card. That's not a good card, by the way.
No.
Oh, my God. Yeah, there's a lot of decks that can really, really take advantage of this. So, yeah, be careful if you see this. You're probably going to be in for a rough time. Yeah, hopefully you have...
It's another way to go in. It's another way to go infinite in Calamax.
Yeah. Like we needed that. All right. Next up, we got Fairy Mastermind. It is 1 in the blue for a 2/1 fairy rogue creature with flash and flying. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. And then it has pay 3 in a blue. Each player draws a card. So, yeah, a lot of kind of anti-card draw / you can also help with card draw.
So if you play this on your opponent's turn, you're going to draw 2 cards because everyone draws, and then you draw from them drawing their second card, which is interesting. You could also activate it twice, like in a commander game on someone else's turn, and then it'd be like, okay, or even on your own turn, and it'd be like, okay, activate twice, so everyone draw 2, and then I'm going to draw 2, and then another 3.
Yeah. I'm just got a full hand over here. Don't mind me.
That's pretty good.
Seems pretty good to me.
And it has flash and flying. It's a 2-drop.
Okay.
It's also good just to flash in if someone's playing a spell that draws a whole bunch of cards. You draw 1 out of it. So.
Yeah, it's I get cards too. Suck it.
It's good if someone has a Consecrated Sphinx out too, because you play this, and it's like, okay, you drew 2, now I'm going to draw. No, you're drawing 2? Okay, well now I can't.
I'm going to draw on 1. Okay.
All right, next up. Interdisciplinary Mascot. 6 blue for a 5/5. Creature Elemental Fractal. It has Convoke. It has Ward 3.
Damn.
When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them in your hand, and the rest in the bottom in a random order. So this is like dig through time on a 5/5.
Yeah, basically.
Or whatever it is. Except for it's only 4 cards.
Yeah.
So
Ward 3. That's
Ward 3 is pretty good. But it's 7. I mean, but it's 8 mana for a 5/5 that draws you 1. It's not super great.
It's okay.
It's way better. You have to convoke. You have to be able to convoke it, or it's not good.
Yeah, paying 8 for this is definitely not worth your time.
8 for a 5/5 draw card is whatever.
Yeah, you're definitely in the best case scenario paying this for nothing. So yeah, otherwise for 2 or something like that, then it's pretty good. So yeah. All right, so now we got our blue battles here. Our first one is Invasion of Archivos. Jeez.
Which is, I think, the Strixhaven plane.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that one. It is 3 blue for a siege. When Invasion of Archivos enters the battlefield, search your library, graveyard, and/or outside the game for an instant or sorcery card you own. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. It has defense 7.
Yes, you got to take it for 7.
Wish, basically.
But it flips into Invocation of the Founders, an enchantment that whenever you cast an instant or sorcery from your hand, you copy that spell.
Oh, ew. That's gross.
That's why it costs 7 attack.
Yep, that is why it has 7 defense.
The interesting thing is, like Lightning Bolt that says any target, you can actually bolt the sieges.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's new cards that'll say like deal damage to a battle or whatever.
Yeah.
But if there's a card that was errated to be any target like Lightning Bolt, you can actually hit a siege because it's any target. It's legal.
Right.
But otherwise you can't. So otherwise you have to attack it.
Yeah.
So it's also what is it, like I think Vampire Hexmage can remove all counters from something.
Oh yeah. That is technically counters. Oops! All counters are gone. Yep. That one is pretty good, especially in blue. So the other one we have is Invasion of Segovia. It is 2 and a blue for a siege. It has, when Invasion of Segovia enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 blue Kraken creature tokens with trample. And it has a defense of 4.
Okay, and then when you defeat that, flips into Katia, Sea Tyrant of Segovia. It's a 3/3 legendary creature serpent. Non-creature spells you cast have Convoke. And at the beginning of your end step, untap up to 4 target creatures.
Okay, that's just disgusting.
So it gives you tokens to use for the Convoke, too.
Yeah, exactly. So just, oops, all Convoke. Sorry. Yeah, this is great for just big stuff. So if you want to play big stuff, there you go. That's how you do
it. Big spells, because creatures don't.
Or big spells, rather.
But it's still cool, because you can tap 4 creatures to Convoke, and then you untap them at the end, so you can still block them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The untap is just really good with that too. So, yeah, it's got a lot going for it, for sure. And then here's a familiar card. Jin Gitaxis. It is 3 blue for a 5/5 legendary creature that's a Phyrexian Praetor with Ward 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, draw a card. Then it has pay 3 and a blue. Exile Jin Gitaxis. That's hard for me to say. Then return it to the battlefield, transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery, and only if you have 7 or more cards in hand. So then it transforms into the Great Synthesis, which is a Saga. And then as it enters, so basically as you enter it or on your draw step, you can add a lore counter to it. The first one is draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size for as long as you control the Great Synthesis. And then the second one is return all non-Phyrexian creatures to their owner's hands. Damn. Then the third one, you may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana costs, exile the Great Synthesis, and return it to the battlefield the other way around.
So the last one is so you have to have 7 cards to activate it. So you're drawing another 7 at least. So you have 14 cards in your hand. You just bounced all creatures to their hands, and then you get an omniscience to dump your hand out before your hand size goes.
Oops, back. There it all goes. Sorry, I just played everything. Yeah, this is a win con.
And then you have Jin Gitaxis still.
Yeah, and then yeah. It's like, okay.
So you're still drawing when you're dumping the free spells, because it's going to flip back first. Right? You may cast any number of advance without paying the mana cost. Oh, so you might have to cast them first. I don't.
This is disgusting, though.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All of these Praetors are really good.
Yeah, the new Praetors are just busted. So busted.
It's dope. Next up, we got Rona, Herald of Invasion. It's 1 and a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature human wizard. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, untap it. And it has tap, draw a card, then discard a card. And then it has pay 5 and a Phyrexian black, transform it. Activate as a sorcery. and it transforms into Rona the Tolarian Obliterator. It's a 5/5 legendary creature, Phyrexian wizard with trample. Whenever a source deals damage to Rona, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you may put it on the battlefield of your control. Otherwise, you can cast it without paying its mana cost.
Oh my god.
So
That's
that is a
nasty,
good
man. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's like the Phyrexian Obliterator and the Vindicator they made, but now it's the blue-black version.
The blue-black version, yeah.
Gets you free cards.
Yeah, you literally just take stuff out of their hand. Like, well.
The flavor text goes at last, I am complete.
Yeah. Complete, all right, with your opponent's bullshit. Yeah, that's nasty.
It's a good
and
card.
It only costs 2 to play, too. That's very
you can play
it costs,
as a blue-black.
It costs 6 to transform, sure, but like.
Well, 5 and 2 life, probably.
Well, yeah, that's probably what you're going to do. Next up, we got C Double. It is 2 blue for an instant. This spell can't be copied. Choose one. Oh my god, don't die. You alright?
No, I'm good.
Alright. Okay. Instant. This spell can't be copied. Our next card for blue is C Double. It is 2 blue for an instant. This spell can't be copied. Choose one. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, you may choose both. Copy target spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Create a token that's a copy of target creature. So, yeah, they don't want you to fork this a billion times, so that's why it can't be copied.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
8 or more cards in the graveyard. Choose both. Copy a spell or make. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad for 4, especially if you can do both. Definitely awesome. In the right scenario.
Next up, we got Transcendent Message. X blue. So 4 blues and X. It has Convoke. It's an instant. And draw X cards.
So you can literally draw cards for free. That's pretty good.
This is what tapping creatures, yeah.
Yeah, like, okay.
It's pretty good, huh?
Not bad. And then you just play them.
Let's do it. Let's play them.
Yep. Pretty awesome. And especially if it's an instant, just do it like if you have creatures that are untapped and you didn't do anything with them. Well, hey, there you go. Free card draw. Yep. Boom. And then finally for blue, we have Zephyr Singer. It is 2 blue for a 3/4 Siren Pirate creature. It has Convoke, has Flying and Vigilance. When Zephyr Singer enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on each creature that convoked it. Damn. So you got flyers, baby.
Yeah, so you can tap 4 creatures. Bam, you have a 3/4 Flying Vigilance and 4 more flyers.
Yep, not bad.
Seems pretty good.
That's pretty good. Especially if you have like a kind of blue creature based deck. Well, you got flyers now.
So. Yeah. What do you think about blue?
Blue is pretty strong, man. Those that Jin Gitaxis is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is bonkers.
Jesus Christ, man. The battles are pretty good. Yeah, it's the freaking free card draw. Like, yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it. It's very, very blue, for sure.
All right, now we're on to black. My favorite color.
Yeah, Corey's color.
Right. Archpriest of Shadows is the first card. It's 3 black for a 4/4 human warlock with a backup 1. So when this creature enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on it, or on target creature. If it's another creature, it gains the following abilities until end of the turn. So it will gain Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. So not only do you get extra creatures for it with it, and they gain Death Touch. You also get
for the one
back.
turn. The one turn.
For the one, yeah.
But this has it forever.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. That's not bad.
It's a nice way to get around the summoning sickness because basically you're just like, all right, this creature's getting all of his abilities for one round of swing.
It's like, okay. Not bad. I mean, especially if it's a bigger one. Like, yeah. That's pretty nice.
It's not a bad card. I like it, but that's mainly because it brings cards back from the graveyard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you would like it for that. Shocking. Next we have Ayara, Widow of the Realm. It is 1 black for a 3/3 legendary elf noble creature. It has tap, sacrifice another creature or artifact. Ayara, Widow of the Realm, deals X damage to target opponent or battle, and you gain X life, where X is the sacrifice permanent's mana value. Then it has 5 and a Phyrexian red, transform Ayara, activate only as a sorcery. So then its other side is Ayara Furnace Queen. It is a 4/4 legendary Phyrexian elf noble creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return up to 1 target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So you literally just unearth something, basically. Like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and the front side is like is just sacrificing creatures and artifacts to dome opponents in battles, and you're gaining that much life. So you're just like, all right, I'm going to keep sacking my stuff. I have enough of the sack, or I'm going to transform it and start bringing shit back.
Or just kill off a siege or a battle. It's just like, okay. Get something off of that. Pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, the card was a card type battle, subtype siege, because I think the reason they're doing that is because these ones are all sieges, because they're like siege battles, but I think they're leaving it open to in later sets that could
a
different subtype.
Yeah.
Is my guess. I don't know for sure, but
we'll find out. It's a whole new thing, so we don't really know.
Yep. All right, next up, we got the Bloated Processor. It's 2 and a black for a Phyrexian 3/2 creature. Sacrifice another Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. When it dies, incubate X, where X is its power.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
That's not bad. So you just get a bunch of big dudes eventually. If you basically you're using this as like a storage, like for your like counters.
Well, it's a sack outlet for your creatures you want to die, right? So
yeah.
In your
but then
aristocrat decks, you're gonna sack shit to this anyway. But then, like worst case, if you don't, it's still 3 for a 3/2. Then when it dies, make a 3/3 that costs 2 mana to transform. Like
right. Yeah, in a way, it's got an upside too. So you want to sack to it if you can.
It's not bad.
It gets bigger, and then
a little bit annoying that it has to be a Phyrexian you're sacking, and it can't be any creature. But
right, yeah, that does make it a little less good, I guess. But there are a lot of Phyrexians in this set, though, so it shouldn't be too hard. And the last few sets too. So you shouldn't have any trouble finding any. Next up, we have Breach the Multiverse. It is 5 black for a sorcery. Each player mills 10 cards. For each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Then each creature you control becomes a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. That's disgusting.
Yeah, so 7 mana, grab a creature from everyone's yard.
Yeah. And they all mill 10.
Yeah, so if they have nothing, you have a high chance of getting something.
Mm-hmm. Including you, and obviously you probably want that because you're playing black anyway.
Yeah.
You're basically entombing stuff for
it seems
reanimate.
Really good.
Seems good. Very, very, very worth for black.
Next up, we got the Grafted Butcher. It is a 1 and a black for a 2/2 Phyrexian Samurai.
Interesting.
When it enters the battlefield, Phyrexians you control gain menace until end of turn. Other Phyrexians you control get +1/+1. Pay 3 into black, sacrifice an artifact or creature, return Grafted Butcher from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate as a sorcerer.
All right. Very good synergy with Phyrexians here.
Yeah, it's a 2/2 that buffs all Phyrexians, and when it enters, it gives them all menace, and if it dies, you can bring it back.
And then and they all get menace again.
Yep, they all get menace to get it buffed again, so it's a good lord for a Phyrexian deck.
Yeah, it just kind of keeps doing its thing. It's an engine, essentially, unless they exile it or something. It's like the only way to get around it. So, yeah, that's pretty decent. Very cheap, too. Which is good. Next up, we have Hoarding Broodlord. It is 5 black for a 7/6 dragon creature with Convoke and also flying. When Hoarding Broodlord enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may play it. Spells you cast from exile also have Convoke.
So this seems really good in the Prosper deck, where you're constantly casting things from exile because all of them will have Convoke then.
Yeah. So you literally can just play them for free as long as you have creatures, basically.
Yeah, that seems really good in that
Pretty
deck.
good.
Outside of that deck, like in just like a dragon deck, I mean, it's a 7/6 search for a card. You could play it.
Yeah.
With Convoke.
For 8 mana, it's like, it's okay. But it definitely works well with dragons, for sure.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool card.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really good if you have other creatures in the field.
Mm-hmm. Or if you have other cards you're casting from exile in your deck.
Yeah, or that.
So if you have, like I said, like black-red, it seems like the best case because there's a lot of impulse draw in red.
Yeah,
so
definitely. All right, so now we got the black battles. The first one is Invasion of Fiora. It is 4 black for a siege battle. When Invasion of Fiora enters the battlefield, choose one or both. Destroy all legendary creatures or destroy all non-legendary creatures. And it has a defense of 4.
So board wipe. 6.
Yep.
And then when you defeat it, flips into Marchesa, the Resolute Monarch. It's a 3/6 legendary creature human noble with a menace and death touch. Whenever Marchesa attacks, remove all counters from up to 1 target permanent. Hey, there's a way to get rid of defeat battles. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt combat damage since your last turn, you draw a card and lose a life.
All right.
So it's pretty good.
Not bad. Yeah, Hex Mage.
Menace Death Touch. Hex Mage is something whenever it attacks, and you can Phyrexian Arena draw if nobody attacks you.
It's a lot of cards in one, basically.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Seems like good. I mean, it costs 6. It better be good on the backside. I mean, but you do get a board wipe first.
Yeah, also very good. The board wipe is nice as well, which, yeah, pretty solid. And then the other one is Invasion of Innistrad. It is 2 black for a siege battle with Flash. When Invasion of Innistrad enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -13 until end of turn. That bitch is dead.
Yeah, that's Innistrad for you. You get -13, -13.
Defensive 5.
Yeah, and then when you defeat it, so first of all, 4 mana Flash, kill something. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty fucking good.
But then the upside is when you defeat it, flips into Deluge of the Dead, which is an enchantment. When Deluge of the Dead enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. And it has pay 2 and a black, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token.
So this is just creature generator galore.
Yeah, so kill something, and then it lets you make zombies for 3 mana.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Not bad. in a zombie deck or something like that. Honestly, just for the kill spell ability, like that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, you'd probably play it for 4, like the 4 mana -13 -13 because that gets around indestructible.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
like-
around literally like unless it has like pro black or something like
or hexproof, yeah.
or like any kind of shroud. This deals with almost anything. So very, very strong.
Like, because it's like, okay, I killed something, and then the upside is like, well, if you do kill it, you get some zombie tokens.
Yeah, it's just like,
So-
okay, now we're just gonna flood the board with dudes. Like that's fine. All right. Next up, we got Pile On. It is 3 and a black for an instant with Convoke. Destroy target creature or destroy target creature or planeswalker. And then it also has Surveil 2. So look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put them in any order. Then put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest on top of your library in any order.
Yeah, so you can put them in the graveyard or on top in any order.
Yeah.
I like this because it has Convoke. So you could realistically have a free kill spell.
Yeah, free kill spell's pretty good. For sure.
Yeah, it
Like
seems
4 is a little
pretty
steep
good.
otherwise.
Because
but
4
yeah.
without Convoke is like fringe playable.
Yeah, that's like.
But with
Creed.
Convoke is
That's
good
like
because
Edict.
you can cost it less and you surveil and kill. And it's nice that it's an instant and it can kill a creature or a planeswalker.
Yeah,
So,
very, very good.
so it's like, it's probably better than like a Hero's Downfall or something. So
Yeah, and that's already a really good card. So
next up, we got the new Shieldred.
Shield Red.
3 black for a 4/5 legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor, with Menace. When Shieldred enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or a planeswalker. And then it has 4 and a black, exile Shieldred, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery, and only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. It flips into the True Scriptures Saga. So the first chapter is for each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Second chapter is each opponent discards 3 cards and then mills 3 cards.
Oh God.
And the third one is put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, exile this, and return it back to the front side. Which will then make them sack stuff if they somehow still had stuff in play.
That's a lot. So again, basically a win condition here.
Yeah, so like honestly, the front side is like, okay, 5 for 4/5, second creature, menace. It's all right.
Like that's
And then
fine,
the
yeah.
first 2 chapters are all right, like kill things, make them mill stuff. But then the ultimate is like, okay, I get everything from all yards. Thank you. It's like Rise
literally
Makers.
OG Liliana effect here.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's great. Well, you basically win. Yeah, that's strong.
Seems very good. Like I
Seems
said, all
good
these
to me.
Praetors are good. This
Yeah,
does
Praetors-
seem, to me, seems like one of the weaker ones, except for the chapter 3. So like if they
Yeah.
stop this, it seems like they have more
Yeah.
time to stop it. I think.
You're a little sad if you don't make it all the way through it.
Yeah.
But if you do, then you probably win the game. So it's definitely worth it in that aspect. Next up, the last one for black is Terror of Tawashi. It is 2 black for a 4/3 Phyrexian Ogre creature with Death Touch. Whenever Terror of Tawashi attacks, you may pay 3 and a black. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. So you literally just attack with this, it hopefully kills something, and you get shit back. What more do you want?
Yeah, it seems good. I like that there's a Phyrexian
Seems good to
ogre.
me. Yeah.
Just like almost every creature type in this set. Like Phyrexian Ogre. 'Cause,
Phyrexian this.
like all the
Phyrexian
planes
that.
are fighting in this battle, right? So like there's all the
Yeah.
creature types. Samurai is in here, ogre.
Yeah,
Cats.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, I do
So
like
what
the flavor.
What do you think about black?
Oh, Black's got some good stuff. Free kill spell, that's never bad.
Yeah, that's never bad, right?
Yeah,
pretty
the
good.
breach multiverse is really good. Like, this has got some
Shouldred's
good
all
stuff in
right.
it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
This Terrors actually seems pretty good to me. I feel like I would play this
Yeah.
in a lot of decks.
For sure. Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff here. Very black.
All right, next up we're on a red. So we got 1 in a red for the first card for a 2/2 creature Phoenix called Bloodfeather Phoenix. It has flying. It can't block. And whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control deals damage to an opponent or a battle, you may pay a red. If you do, return Bloodfeather Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn.
Damn.
So 2/2 flyer, can't block. If it's in your yard, you can bring it back by dealing damage.
Literally just paying 1. Like, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
Yep. I mean, it's an aggro card. Like, you can't block. Typical aggro red card.
Yeah.
Aggro
red card.
That just
decent in the burn deck.
Definitely doesn't go away unless they like exile it or something. So yeah, that's quite good. Next we got Chandra Hard to read it. Chandra Hope's Beacon.
Yeah.
It is the art was blocking it.
Yeah, the art makes it look like Homes almost. Like
yeah. It is 4 red for a legendary planeswalker named Chandra with 5 loyalty counters. It has the static ability of whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. That is very good in burn. If you have 6 mana, which is a lot, but still, like, that's pretty good.
That's still good.
+2, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. +1, exile the top 5 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell from among those exiled cards. And then its ultimate of -X. Chandra Hope's Beacon deals X damage to each of up to 2 players. So you can really
two targets.
Basically 2 beer. That's right there.
Yeah, 2 targets, not players.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, targets. My bad.
So you could hit 2 creatures, creature to player, 2 players.
Yeah.
So you could play it right off the bat for 6. I don't doubt you're going to have anything to cast after that to copy, but you could.
Probably not, yeah.
I mean, you could, and then -5, or just -5 off the bat and hit 5 damage or 2 things.
Yeah.
I mean, and the mana ramp every turn after that's pretty good.
Literally 10 damage. Like, that's pretty good. For 6?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it sticks around, too, you can ramp yourself 2 mana. So, like, if you play this on 6, next turn you can play an 8 mana instant sorcery that copies.
They can copy, yeah. So. And in like, red, that's a lot of fodder, so...
And if you need cards, you can impulse draw.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff going for it. It is a little high as far as mana cost goes, so this would be more of like a commander card probably. But
yeah, I mean, I could see it in like standard or draft.
Yeah.
Draft will be a bomb too. Perhaps.
It'd be like a bomb, yeah, for sure.
In standard, it might be pretty good.
If you get this out and like sealed, you win. Like,
yeah, I don't know about like modern or anything like that. It's probably not going to be played much. Because it costs 6, like it's all way too high for that.
Yeah, that's 4 or less is usually what you're looking for on those sets or those types. So yeah.
Next up, we got City on Fire. It is 5 red, so 8 mana enchantment with Convoke. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead.
Triple? Oh my god! If double wasn't good enough, triple damage. Guys.
Yeah, there's already one enchantment. I think it costs 5. It just costs 5 for everything deals triple damage. It's 5 or 6.
Yeah,
but this is 8. But you could pay it by having creatures too.
Yep. Which is really, really good. And if you're playing like just a typical aggro red deck, you'll probably have creatures laying around. So you want this in play because with this in play, you win real fast.
Yeah,
unless they have an
deals
answer.
9 damage.
Like 1 for 9 seems good. Yeah, very, very good if you're able to get that off for sure. Next we have Atali, the Primal Conqueror. It is 5 red for a legendary elder dinosaur creature that's a 7/7. It has trample. When Atali, Primal Conqueror, enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. That's rude as fuck. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. Then it has 9 in a Phyrexian green to transform Atali activate as a sorcery. So if that wasn't good enough, it flips into...
It's similar to the other Atali where it's 6
Yeah.
for a 6/6. It does something similar.
And then we flip into Atali Primal Sickness. It's an 11/11. Legendary Phyrexian Elder Dinosaur creature with trample and indestructible. When Atali Primal Sickness deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. You literally win the game.
Yeah, so this is like Blightsteel.
Freaking Blightsteel Colossus here. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
so this is a Blightsteel Colossus that could be played in your command zone.
Like, freaking disgusting. Like, ugh.
But you got to pay 7 and then 9. But
Yeah,
still,
you pay a shit ton for this to go. But if you
still
do, you
bonkers.
just win the game. Like, this is literally you win the game. Very good.
Yeah, the new Atali is busted. I love this card's
Yeah.
awesome.
Of course, there's so many ways that this can be like cheated into, so like you can get around the high cost, honestly. So yeah.
All right, next up we got Into the Fire. 2 and a red for a sorcery. Choose one. Into the Fire deals 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker, and battle. Or put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many +1.
Nice.
So wheel yourself or deal 2 to everything on the board.
Yep, literally everything. So you probably kill a lot of stuff, or you just wheel yourself, which is
I kind of like this because like the issue with like Volcanic Fallout or something, right? Which is basically what the first one is, 2 damage to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is there's a lot of situations where that's bad.
Yeah.
So then you don't want that card in your deck. Well, here it's like, well, if that's the bad option, you just wheel your hand and you get an extra card.
Yeah. Like that's pretty good. For sure.
Because most situations that you're going to play a wheel, like if that's good. So
you probably have crap in your hand, or like you have like a bunch of land or something, and you need gas. Well, there you go. All right, so now we got the red battles. So the first one is Invasion of Caldaheim. It is 3 and a red for a siege battle. When Invasion of Caldaheim enters the battlefield, exile all cards from your hand, then draw that many cards. Until the end of your next turn, you may play cards exiled this way. It has defense of 4.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And then when you defeat it, it flips into the Pyre of the World Tree, which is an enchantment. With discard a land card, Pyre of the World Tree deals 2 damage to any target. And then whenever you discard a land card, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. So you're going to discard a land, shock something, and then impulse draw the top card every time you do that.
It's pretty good. That's worth discarding lands, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, but also the bottom part will trigger if you like Faithless Loot or something and just pitch land. So
yeah, exactly. Which is also very
pretty good.
Yep. That's that's got a lot going for it, honestly. Lots of drawing, lots of other stuff.
I don't know. The first part's weird. It's like just draw a new hand, but you can still play the cards in your old hand for a turn.
Yeah. Maybe you had no mana or something. Well,
yeah.
Then you find mana. I don't know. And then the red actually has 3. Wow. Then we have Invasion of Karsus. It is 2 red for a siege battle. When Invasion of Karsus enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. And it has defense of 4.
Okay, so 4 mana, 3 damage to each creature and planeswalker.
Not bad.
Defeat
yeah.
it. You get Refraction Elemental, which is a 4/4 elemental creature with ward, pay 2 life, and whenever you cast a spell, Refraction Elemental deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Damn.
Seems good.
That seems really good. So you're shocking a lot of stuff with this one, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're doing 3 damage to everything when it comes in, and then you're hitting opponents to the face every time you cast it.
Literally every single time.
And if they want to kill it, they got to take 2.
They also shock themselves. So. Seems good. And then the last red battle is Invasion of Tarkir. It is 1 and a red for a siege battle. When Invasion of Tarkir enters the battlefield, reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, Invasion of Tarkir deals X damage, or deals X plus 2 damage to any other target, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. It has defense of 5.
So far, it seems like it's good in the dragon deck.
Seems good for dragons,
2 plus the number of dragons you reveal. You could choose 0, and you still just shock something for 2.
Yeah. Still
And
good.
you defeat it, you get Defiant Thundermaw, 4/4 flying trample dragon. That also has whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target.
Seems to be a theme here.
All right, so that seems like a really good card for a dragon.
That's
deck,
gross. Right? Yeah. Let's just
so,
shock
the front side's only
everything.
2 mana. Front side's only 2 mana, right?
Yeah. Literally
and it
2.
has 5. So like
Yeah.
most dragons are like 5/5s or 6/6s. So you swing with 1 dragon with flying at it.
Then you get this.
Like if they
Just
don't
like-
block, you get this.
May as well call it the shock dragon because it's just gonna shock everything. it's gross.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's good in a dragon deck. All right, like they needed more stuff. Alrighty, so now we're on to the non-battle red cards. We have Nahiri's Warcrafting. It is 1 red for a sorcery. Nahiri's Warcrafting deals 5 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. Well, there you go. There's your 5 for the last one we talked about. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the excess damage dealt this way. You may exile one of those cards. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may play the exiled card this turn.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like 3 to deal 5, and then you look at stuff for whatever you like have excess of, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Not bad.
Next up, we got Ortheon, Hero of Lava Brink. It's 3 and a red for a 3/3 legendary creature, human soldier. And it has pay 1 and a red, tap it, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste. Second at the beginning of the next end step, activate as a sorcery. Then it has pay 6 red, tap, create 5 tokens that are copies of another target creature you control. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step, activate only as a sorcery. So you get a 1 mana discount if you do it 5 times at once.
Yeah. You got like an ass ton of mana.
Yeah. I mean, so it's basically like a what do you call that, Kiki-Jiki effect, right? Like copying something. So it's pretty good though.
Much. Yeah, just for 1 turn.
If you need that Kiki-Jiki effect, play it.
I mean, it's cheap to play. It's just the effects are more pricey. Next one is Rampaging Raptor. It is 2 red for a 4/4 dinosaur creature with trample and haste. Pay 2 and a red. Rampaging Raptor gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Whenever Rampaging Raptor deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls or battle that player protects.
Well, there you go. So you can
That's
hit your
interesting.
battles with this too.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool effect. And then, of course, the Planeswalkers, we've seen that effect before. So, very good for 4, honestly. That's a lot of...
I mean, 4/4
like,
trample haste with pay
with
3 plus 2 plus 0 is pretty good.
and the other just constant effect, like...
Yeah, that if like you're just going to swing at people's faces, and then if they
Yeah.
take it, you can ping
you're
off a
gonna
planeswalker or a battle.
blow their stuff up, basically. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Next up, we got the new Urabrask, which in my opinion might be one of the best ones for once. Usually Urabrask is the worst one. It's 2 red for a 4/4 Phyrexian Praetor with first strike. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, deal 1 damage to target opponent and add a red mana to your mana pool. And then pay a red mana, exile Urabrask, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery and only if you've cast 3 or more instant or sorceries this turn. And it transforms into the Great Work, which Chapter 1 is it deals 3 damage to target opponent and each creature they control. Chapter 2 is you create 3 treasure tokens.
Oh, God.
Chapter 3 is until end of turn you may cast instant and sorcery spells from any graveyard. If a spell would be cast this way, if a spell cast this way be put to a graveyard, exile it instead. Then you exile this and return it back as Urabrask. So that's bonkers.
Yep.
Because whenever you cast a spell, you're dealing a damage and getting 1 red refund.
Yep.
Like,
and then you literally get them all back, basically. Or you get to recast
on the last part.
Literally everything. Like, especially if you're playing like a aggro burn style deck with this, oof. Like
even
probably
like
just knock someone out.
Just the front side of this seems really good to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, 4 mana, 4/4 first strike. Okay. I play Lightning Bolt. Cost me basically 0 because I'm getting a mana back. Deal an extra 1 to you too, so you take 4. Okay, now I'll play Chain Lightning. You take 4. Now I'll play another, like Shock. You take 3.
Yeah, you take 3.
Okay, now I'm going to flip my guy and deal 3 damage to you and all of your creatures.
Yes, it's like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Like all three of those effects, like 3 treasure tokens, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Just draw.
But like just the front side is just bonkers enough.
Yeah.
And then the back side makes it even more bonkers.
It's just insane. Yeah.
Like, it might be the best one of the Praetors.
It's very, very good. So yeah, that's a thing. Our last red card is Voldaren Thrillseeker. It is 2 and a red for a 1/1 vampire warrior creature with backup 2. Sacrifice this creature. Tap 1, sacrifice this creature. It deals damage equal to its power to any target.
So you give something 2 plus some counters and that ability for a turn.
Yep. So you just make it big.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely think Urabrask is bonkers, and I think that dragon is bonkers. The dragon card. Was it the Invasion of Tarkir?
Invasion of Tarkir, yeah. That one's just gross.
It's bonkers.
Atali is disgusting.
Oh, yeah,
City on Fire is gross. Too. Like, oh my god.
Red just might be really good.
Red is very strong. Like, it might be one of the stronger colors, honestly. Like, it's really, really good. All right. We're on to green now. The first one is Ancient Imperiosaur. It is 5 green for a 6/6 dinosaur creature with Convoke. It has Trample and Ward 2. Ancient Imperiosaur enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it for each creature that convoked it. Oof. So you're convoking this. Yeah,
so have you ever wanted a 20/20 with Trample? Because that's what it is if you tap 7 creatures for it.
Always. Yes, I would love to have one creature that can wipe someone out. Literally. Yeah, it seems good.
It seems really good, yeah. Especially for like your token deck. Like,
that's really
tap
good.
7 tokens, give a 20/20 with Trample and Ward 2.
20/20.
Good luck.
Yep. Yeah, it's like good luck getting rid of it. Oh my god. Yeah, that's powerful.
That's big griefy right there. My big beefy right there. That's my Timmy loving that.
Yep, yep.
Next up, we got Deep Root Wayfinder. 1 in a green for a 2/3 Merfolk Scout. When it deals combat damage to a player or a battle, surveil 1. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It's pretty good.
That's not bad.
2 for a 2/3. That can get you some lands back.
Yep. Get your stuff back. Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, 2 for a 2/3 on its own is honestly pretty good too. So, yeah, that's interesting.
And it's a green Merfolk.
Yeah, green Merfolk. That's different. Yeah, the combinations in this set are very interesting for sure. Next we got Doomscar Warrior. It is 2 green for a 4/3 human warrior creature with backup 1 and trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Seems good that you could drop this in, gives something else a +1 counter, trample, and that effect for a round. Like,
Yeah, it seems really good. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it for sure. It's a lot of like abilities.
it's only a 4-drop.
Yeah, not bad for a 4-drop.
Like 4-drop, 4/3.
Yeah.
Put 1/1 on something, a trample. You probably play just that, but
Yep.
you also get the other effect.
Yeah, the other effect is just really good too.
Next up, we got Glistening Dawn. 2 green for a sorcery. Incubate X twice, where X is the number of lands you control.
Ooh, okay.
That seems very good.
That seems really good, yeah.
It's like almost as good as like Avenger Syndicate, right? Because you're just getting 2 big things. Like
two
I'm getting
gigantic things.
like 2 7/7s or whatever.
Yeah. For
I
4.
mean, even playing this on 4, you're getting 2 4/4s.
Exactly.
You still have to pay 4 mana again to flip them. But
turn 5, you're potentially doing 8 damage to them. Like that's pretty damn good.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I want to do that. All right, we are on to the green battles. The first one is Invasion of Ikoria. It is X green for a siege battle. When Invasion of Ikoria enters the battlefield, search your library and/or graveyard for a non-human creature card with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. It has a defense of 6.
So you're basically like green something, right? Like it's X green. For the first part, but it has to be non-human. But you can also choose graveyard. Doesn't have to be deck.
Yeah, or graveyard.
And then it's going to flip into Zilorthra, the Apex of Ikoria, which is an 8/8 legendary creature dinosaur with reach. And for each non-human creature you control, you may have that creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked.
Jesus Christ.
So it turns everything into Thorn Elementals that aren't humans.
Which there's a lot of decks where, as long as you're not playing humans, yeah.
Seems very good.
Very, very good. That's a.
I don't know. Green is starting off pretty strong here. I don't know if it's going to be better than red, but it's pretty good so far.
It's got some crazy stuff.
So far, I play every green card.
Yeah, they're all extremely playable. Next we got the dinosaur world, Invasion of Ixalan, siege battle for 1 and a green. When Invasion of Ixalan enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It has defense of 4.
And then when you defeat it, you get Belligerent Regisaur, which is a 4/3 dinosaur creature with trample that has, whenever you cast a spell, Belligerent Regisaur gains indestructible until end of turn.
Okay.
Seems really good, huh? 2 mana, get any like the best card of your top 5.
Find something good.
And then you have a 4/3 with trample that gets indestructible if you play something.
Yeah, it's like they try to block it. You just like play a pump spell or something, then it's indestructible.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops.
And then before you attack, you just play another creature. Oh, I have an indestructible 4/3 tradable.
Like, deal with it.
Seems really good too.
Yeah, not bad. Not as crazy as the first one, but it's pretty good. And the last one is Invasion of Chandalar. It is 3 green for a siege battle. When Invasion of Chandalar enters the battlefield, return up to 3 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. It has defensive 4. That's pretty good. That's like a
return 3 cards to your
crazy
hand,
e-witness.
Yeah, or like regrowth ×3.
Yeah, like literally 3 times over.
And then you defeat that, you get Leyline Surge, which is an enchantment. With at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, Crater Hoof on the battlefield. Like, sure.
Get the best 3 things they killed through the game with the first half, and then the second one is putting them all into play.
Just jam on the battlefield. My freaking like Hydra or something, or something ridiculous. It's like, yeah, have fun with that. Yeah. Giving green the ability to play stuff for free seems really insane. So, yeah. If you see that on the battlefield, you're in for a not fun time.
Yeah, you better just have an enchantment removal.
Yeah, you really need enchantment removal for that one. Otherwise, you're probably going to lose quick. All right. Next card is Ozolith the Shattered Spire. It is 1 and a green for a legendary artifact. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on an artifact or creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. I hate when they word it like that. Tap 1 and a green and tap it. Put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact or creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery, and it also has cycling 2. So this is basically a crazy
It's like hardened scales. It's hardened scales, which literally just puts 1 more counter on everything.
Okay, yeah.
Counter. So it's hardened scales, which only costs
+1/+1.
Yeah, so hardened scales is 1 for just that top effect. This costs 2. You get the top effect. It also has the ability to just put 2 1/1s on something because it's going to. And then, or if for some reason you draw it late game and don't want it, you can cycle it away.
Cycle it for something else. For more gas.
This is like bonkers artifact.
Yeah, this is like good. Utility galore. So much utility. Yep. Really good, especially in a creature-based deck, which green usually is. So there you go.
Next up, we got the new Polkenros Reborn. It is green, 3 greens for a 4/5 legendary creature Hydra with reach. So 3 mana, 4/5 reacher.
It's all really good.
6 in a Phyrexian white to transform it. Activate as a sorcery. And it transforms into a Polkenros, the Engine of Ruin. It is a legendary creature, Phyrexian Hydra. That's a 6/6 with reach and lifelink. And whenever Polkenros Engine of Ruin or another non-token Hydra you control dies, create a 3/3 green-white Phyrexian Hydra creature token with reach and a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra creature token with lifelink. So it turns
it's like
it into
a worm coil kind of ish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Hydra worm coil, but it triggers whenever any non-token Hydra dies.
Yeah.
Turns all your Hydras into like worm coils, basically.
Pretty crazy.
Except for its reach and lifelink
instead of death touch and lifelink. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just the front side of this: 3 for a 4/5 with reach. Excuse me, like really?
Yeah, that's bonkers.
That's ridiculous. I mean, granted, it's 3 greens, but still, like, especially for mono green, you're A-okay with that.
Well, and if you play this as a commander, you could do green-white because it has the Phyrexian white in the cost.
Yep. Like, I could play this in my wrist deck, and honestly, it wouldn't be bad in it.
It would be pretty good.
It would be pretty good. Yeah. It's not a Hydra-based deck, so, I mean, it's just good for like its stats. Its stats are just crazy.
All right, so far green is looking really good here.
Yeah, green's looking great. Very, very great. Okay, so next we got Sirach and Goreclaw. It is 4 green for a 6/5 legendary human bear creature with trample. Other creatures you control also have trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn.
So
Wow.
6/6/5 trample gives everything trample, and when you play stuff, it gets 1/1 and haste.
Seems good.
Seems really good.
There's
a lot of these cards in the multicolored section where they just basically took like Goreclaw and Sirach and put two of their abilities.
Yeah, just
to
made it one thing. Yeah, we'll get into those. Those are ridiculous too, but yeah.
Next up, we got Tribute to the World Tree. It is green, so 3 greens for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card if its power is 3 or greater. Otherwise, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it.
Oh god, that's really good.
So your weak stuff becomes a 3/3 or a 4/4, and everything that's a 3/3 or better, you're just going to draw your card.
You're just drawing. So it's like opposite dimension of the meek, basically.
Yeah,
but better.
Yeah. This is bonkers.
Because this will always do something for you. Very, very, very good.
So far, I would play every single green card.
Yeah, easily. I would play all of these.
All these green cards seem good.
And the next one I'm sure is going to be great too, because it's the new Vorinclex. It is 3 green for a 6/6 legendary Phyrexian Praetor creature with trample and reach. When Vorinclex enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forest cards. That's right, forest cards. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Then pay 6 green, exile Vorinclex, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery, and it flips into the Grand Evolution Saga. First chapter is mill 10 cards. Put up to 2 creature cards from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. Chapter 2 is distribute 7 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. And Chapter 3 is until end of turn. Creatures you control gain tap 1. This creature fights target creature you don't control. Exile the Grand Evolution, then return it back to the battlefield as Vorinclex. Yeah, you just make your field huge, and then you kill everything.
Yeah, I mean, this does seem like one of the weaker of the Praetors. Like, this is the black one, but the black one wins the game in the last fight.
It literally wins the game.
So, but this is only 5 mana. I mean, the front size 5 for a 6/6 trample reach that puts 2 forests in your hand, like 2 duels in your hand.
Yeah, to any kind of.
It's a little annoying. It's not into play, but whatever. It's
still good. It's still fine. I feel like that would have been too good otherwise. Because remember Primeval Titan? How good that card was.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason that's banned in everything.
Yeah, it's still really good. Like, I still would play this card.
It's a good Praetor. It might not be as crazy as the other ones, but it's. Still
because in the first part, milling 10, like if you're creature heavy deck, you're probably going to hit 2 creatures. You might not hit 2 big things, but you get 2 of something.
You're going to get something for sure. Yeah.
And then 7 1/1s good.
That's you just make stuff big.
Like the best part in my opinion of that. But.
Yeah.
All right, and then next card we got Ren and Realmbreaker Planeswalker, which this is a bonkers Planeswalker. It is 1 green, so only 3 mana.
3 mana
for legendary Planeswalker of Ren. Comes in with 4 loyalty. It has a static ability of lands you control have tap, add a mana of any color.
That's good.
I'd play it just right there. You don't have to give me any other
just for that, yeah.
It's like
sold.
+1, up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with a vigilance, hexproof, and haste until your next turn. It's still a land. -2, mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among the milled cards into your hand. -7, you get an emblem with you may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard.
So you literally have like Crucible plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
I'm mainly playing this in a 3 or more color deck though, because like of just the static of having the chromatic
Yeah.
lantern effect is the best part, in my opinion.
That's very, very good.
And then you're just like, okay, plus it, swing for 3, plus it, swing for 3, whatever, and then you get the emblem, which is bonkers, or you just get draw a card in my hand, draw a card in my hand.
Very, very good. Yeah.
You only got 3.
Yeah. 3 for a planeswalker. Very, very good. Like usually those are like the more crummy ones, honestly. Unless it's like even like Nisa, it like wasn't one of the most strong ones. But yeah, this is really good. So yeah, green. That's green, by the way. Green's really good.
I'd play every single card in there.
Literally every card is playable and amazing. So yeah, have fun playing against green, guys, because you're seeing it a lot. Trust me. Some of those cards just like practically just win the game outright. It's just like, oh my gosh.
So of the 5 main colors, which you think's the strongest? Green, probably.
I think it's green.
It's probably green and then red.
And then red, yeah, and then probably blue after that. It's like, yeah, green's just crazy. And then red's just really powerful. So.
All right, well, now we're getting into the multi-colored fun stuff.
So these are literally all basically mashup cards, and you'll see why in a second. So our first one is Errant and Giada. It is 1 and white, blue, or Azorius for a 2/3 legendary human angel creature with flash and flying. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. So that's good.
That seems really good. I mean, it's 3 mana, 2/3 flying flash. Look at the top card.
Yep, so, and then just play them.
Just play flyers.
And then we got our Azorius battle here. So I'm going to read the first part of this.
Okay.
The Invasion of New Phyrexia. It is X and then Azorius, white, blue, for a siege battle. When Invasion of New Phyrexia enters the battlefield, create X/2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. It has defense 6.
Yeah, so one of the draft archetypes in this for blue-white is knights. So we got blue-white knights for once, which is interesting.
That's an interesting combination.
I mean, white existed, but not blue that much.
Yeah.
But so this is just, X and 2, make a bunch of 2/2s. That's really good by itself.
Yeah.
And then when you defeat it, you get Teferi, a planeswalker.
Hi, Teferi. Okay.
The Akosa of Zalfir comes in with 4 loyalty. It has +1, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature. -2, you get an emblem with knights you control, get +1/+0, and have ward 1.
Gross.
And -3, tap X creatures you control. When you do, shuffle target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library.
That's right, guys. You can ult it right away, and it doesn't even die.
No, but it's ult. You have to tap a bunch of creatures to...
Yeah,
but I think the best thing of this is you're going to dump a ton of mana into this for a ton of knights, right?
Yeah,
the front
that's
side.
That's the
then
whole point.
You're going to flip this, and you're going to emblem, and then probably just emblem again. And all your knights are going to get +2/+0 and ward 2, which is...
Because, yes, that's right. They stack.
Yeah, you could just emblem right away and then emblem again the next turn if it lives.
Just keep embleming.
Or you could, emblem, use the plus, emblem the next turn. It's bonkers. You're making a bunch of knights, and then Teferi's just making them all have ward 1 and bigger.
Yeah.
Or you can loot, or you can shuffle away something that you don't want them to have, because you just got all those knights to tap to put their biggest thing in their deck. So
yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Teferi being good as normal. So next we got Haidsugu and Kairi. It is 2 blue, black for a 5/4 legendary ogre demon dragon creature with flying.
Yeah.
When Hitsugu and Kairi enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. You put two cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. When Hitsugu and Kairi dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost.
Yeah, so basically it comes in, you brainstorm.
You brainstorm, yeah.
And then when it dies, you dome them for whatever the top card is, CMC. And if it's a sorcery, you cast it for free. So best case, you put like expropriate on top. They're taking like 8, and then you cast like cards that like, takes a bunch of extra turns.
Yeah, it's like, oops. It's like a reverse Bob, basically. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, it's combining Hitsugu, which is Ogre Demon, and Kairi the Dragon, which is like this card is really good. I think this is going to be really good. And what's really interesting is someone asked me immediately for a judge ruling on this. If you use right of replication on this to make 5 copies.
Oh God, yeah.
What happens? And so you choose one to stay, right? And then they all die from the state-based action, and so then you have all 10 of these triggers on the stack. So 5 of each of the first and the bottom trigger on the stack, and you can resolve them in whatever order you want.
Oh God, that's just gross.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
Because you get to choose the order on the stack because they all go on at once, since they come in and then die from being legend rolled.
Yeah, so you can literally just like decide.
So you can be like, all right,
you're gonna take this now.
I'm gonna brainstorm and then do the next one, and then brainstorm and then do the bottom one. So you can just order it like that, so that you're brainstorming and then flipping Castelli for free, and then brainstorming and then flipping Castelli for free. And you just like kill somebody.
You can literally take people out doing that. Like that's nasty. Oh my God, that's a crazy way to win. That'd be fun to see. Honestly, someone actually gets to pull that off. Ooh, that's dirty.
Yep. All right, next card is Rankle and Torbrand. 1 black, red for a 3/4 legendary creature, fairy dwarf. Flying, first strike, haste. When Rankle and Torbrand deals combat damage to a player or a battle, choose any number. Each player creates a treasure token. Each player sacrifices a creature. If a source will deal damage to a player or a battle, this turn deals that much plus 2 instead.
So you can just choose all 3 if you want to. It's like,
yes,
okay.
Except for you wouldn't choose the second creature unless you have something else to get rid of.
Yeah.
And the treasure token, like it gives everyone that, not just you.
Yeah.
But the Torbrand effect is good.
Yeah, that's definitely good.
And it's a 3/4 flying first strike haste.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot of keywords just right there. So not
Plus,
bad.
If you want a fairy dwarf, you got one now.
Yeah.
Even though it's technically a fairy and a dwarf, it's just in one card.
Now it's
both of them are there. It's individual dudes on one card.
Because we wanted a mashup, apparently, of everything. So here you go. And yeah, they're about what you would expect them to be. They're crazy. So our next one is Kagla and Yidaro. It is 2 red, green for a 7/7 legendary ape dinosaur turtle creature. There you go.
Yeah, these are both from Ikoria with the weird dice.
Just great. When Kagla and Yidaro enter the battlefield, choose one. It gains trample and haste until end of turn. It fights target creature you don't control. And then you can pay 2 red and green, discard Kagla and Yidaro, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment, shuffle Kagla and Yidaro into your library from your graveyard, then draw a card. So you do have the chance of getting it again.
Yeah, so you could just pitch it and destroy something and get a new card, replace it. It shuffles in. Or you could play it as a 7/7 that fights something or has haste trample. Seems pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Next up, we got Gahalta and Mavren. There's 3 green, white for a 12/12 legendary creature dinosaur vampire with trample. And whenever you attack, you choose one. You create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. Or create X/1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures.
Okay, first of all, that's a 12 freaking 12. Are you kidding me?
With trample.
For 7.
Yep.
7 mana.
It's really color intensive, but yeah.
But god
It's a dinosaur
damn.
vampire. And then when you attack, you can attack with you have to attack with something else and get an
it can't just be
token.
it.
Or
And
attack
then first
with
I'm
a
like,
bunch of
okay,
things
it's
and
going to be
get
another 12/12. Oh, good. I'm like, it has other.
Yeah. So you have to attack with at least 2 things. You would choose the top ability and get the weaker of the 2 things copied in there. Or you attack with a bunch of things.
Bunch of shit,
and you choose the bottom ability and get a bunch of vampires with lifelink.
Yeah, you can literally just flood your board. This is a very good card, especially in a creature like token creature deck or something like that.
Yeah, you should put this in your token
This and
deck.
Riss. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Yeah.
There's a win con in that deck.
It's good. It's a dinosaur vampire,
really
man.
good. God damn. Yep. Well, I'm going to probably be looking into getting that one.
Yeah.
Next is Drana and Linvala. It is 1 white, black for a 3/4 legendary vampire angel creature with flying and vigilance. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. Drana and Linvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So not only do they not get to do their abilities, you steal them.
Yeah, you could do any of them you want.
So,
you could use your mana to use it too.
Pretty awesome. It only costs 4. Like, it's cheap for what it does.
Yeah, it's very cheap. Flying angel with vigilance. It's a vampire as well. Super good card.
Very, very good. All these cards are just bonkers.
All these mashup ones are good.
So crazy. All right, and then we got our Orzhov battle here. It is Invasion of Talvada. It is 3 Orzhov, or white-black, for a siege battle. When Invasion of Talvada enters the battlefield, return target non-battle permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It has defense 5.
Yeah, and so then if you defeat that, you get the enchantment The Broken Sky. Creature tokens you control get +1/+0 and have lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. So just by itself, at your end step, you're going to have a 2/1 flying lifelinker.
Yeah, just on its own. And if you are pairing this with like a board, that can be pretty good. +1/+1 lifelink global effect. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty good.
Next we have Baral and Karizev. It is 1 and Izzet, or blue and red, for a legendary human creature with first strike and menace, and it's a 2/4. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lesser mana value that shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't, create First Mate Ragavan, a legendary 2/1 red monkey pirate creature token. It gains haste until end of turn.
Yeah, so cast an instant sorcery. You can cast one that's cheaper from your hand for free, or make a monkey.
Yep. It's like how many creature types can we get in one card here?
Well, the Ragavan is a 1-drop. The monkey haster normally 2/1.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, you get it for free, basically.
Next up, we got Glissa, the Herald of Predation. 3 black green for a 3/5 legendary creature, Phyrexian zombie elf. So it looks like completed Glissa or something.
Yeah.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, you choose one. incubate twice, or incubate two twice.
Yeah.
Transform all incubator tokens you control. Or Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch until end of turn.
So that's really good with Phyrexians or incubators.
Yeah. I mean, just itself, too. It's like, okay, I'm going to incubate twice. I'm going to incubate twice. I'm going to flip them all. Oh, now I'm going to give them all first strike and death touch.
It's like, okay. It's literally every combat. Like, come on.
Your combats, but yeah.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, but yeah. Every one of your combats. Especially if you get multiple combat or no, it doesn't work like that, does it?
No, it does.
If you have multiple combat.
Yeah. If you have multiple combats, it'll trigger again.
So you can make it trigger more than once.
Yeah.
Spicy. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good. Next we have Yargle and Multani. It is 3 black green for a legendary frog spirit elemental creature. And it's just, an 18-6. No big deal.
6 mana, 18-6.
Sure.
Well, because I think is it Yargle is like a 9/3 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Multani is the equal number of lands you control normally, I think. And so they're like, let's just make it a double, so it's 18-6.
Just make it massive.
Like, okay. Like, this is probably the weakest of the mashups, but it's still an 18-6.
Yeah, for fucking 6 mana. Like, sure, yeah. Okay, it can die to, like, I don't know, Sun Titan, but it's an 18-6. What the fuck?
This is going to be a fun card to, like, play and, like, flee it at somebody or something.
Oh my god. Like, you basically kill them.
Take 18.
Oops, you take 18.
Or make
Sorry.
it unblockable or something. Like, this, like, you have to do something else with it, right? Like, you can't just do it by itself. But it's funny, though.
Yeah, it's
an 18-6, guys. If you want an 18-6, 6 mana. Next up, we got De Jure? I don't know. And Hazaret. There's 2 red, and a white for a 5/4 legendary creature, human god. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, this has vigilance and haste. When it attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may exile a legendary creature card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order until end of turn. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost.
Cool.
So attack, play a free legendary spell.
Yeah.
And it's a 5/4. That is vigilance haste if you have 1 or less cards in your hand.
Right. That's interesting. Interesting little thing there. Yeah, and it costs, 5.
I mean, Winota was busted in standard, so I feel like this is going to be busted in standard too.
Yeah, it seems really good.
Because Winota was like, I think it put like soldiers into play, or it might have been any creature. Maybe it was humans or something. But this is legendary creatures, so.
Right, so even better.
Cheating and free shit.
Cheating and free stuff, always good. Next up, we got Quintorius Lore Master. It is 3 and Boros, or red and white, for a 3/5 legendary elephant cleric creature with vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, exile target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard. Create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. And then it has pay 1 and Boros, or red and white, and tap it. Sacrifice a spirit. Choose target card exiled with Quintorius. You may cast that card this turn without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, put it onto the battlefield. Sorry. If it be put into a graveyard, put it on the bottom of owner's library instead.
Interesting. So you're exiling all your non-creature, non-land spells to make 3/2s, and then sacrificing one of the 3/2s to just cast one of those spells that you exile for free and put it back on the bottom of your deck.
Yeah, and then you just get it back. Like, okay.
That seems really good. Especially if you build around that.
Like if you build like with spells or something.
Yeah, like spells matter deck.
Yeah.
Next up we got Igna and Eskia, which is 2 green and blue for a 4/4 legendary creature human god. Creatures you control have vigilance and have tap. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card.
Okay, then.
So it makes all of your dudes mana dorks, and if you use at least 3 mana dorks to cast another creature, you draw a card.
Yep. Awesome.
I'm pretty sure the bottom part would also trigger with Convoke. I'm not sure, but
yeah,
because I think that the Convoking is adding the mana to it. I'm not 100% on that, though. I'll have to look that
right.
up. But either way, 4/4 makes all your dudes mana dorks, which is what Eskia normally does, and then draw cards.
Yeah. Very good. For 4 mana. Awesome. All right. Next we got Kroxa and Kunoros. It is 3 red, white, black for a 6/6 legendary elder giant dog creature. It has vigilance, menace, and lifelink. Whenever Kroxa and Kunoros enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile 5 cards from your graveyard. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Seems really good.
6 for a lot of
It's
stats.
basically like a Titan, like 6 for a 6/6 vigilance, menace, lifelink, and then you're going to get a creature from your graveyard every time it enters or attacks, as long as you have 5 other cards.
As long as you have stuff like in your it's like
so you're going to want to self-mill a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
dredge some stuff.
Just this is like dredge galore basically. Just for the stats, this is pretty good. That's pretty solid.
Next up, we got Borborygamos and Flipathid.
Yeah, whatever.
However you pronounce Flipathid. Anyway, so it's 2 green, blue, red for a 6/5 legendary Cyclops Homunculus. Whenever Borborygamos and Flipathid enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard 1 or more cards this way, Borborygamos deals twice that much damage to target creature. It has pay 1 and a blue. Put him into its owner's library, 3rd from the top.
God, that stupid recursion, man.
Oh, you're going to kill it? Now it's on 3rd from the top.
Nope. No, you don't. Yeah, that's
so
really good.
You can discard land. You draw a card and discard lands to deal damage.
Yeah.
Features.
Quite awesome.
Seems good.
Yep, really, really, really good. All
and
right,
hey,
so
it's a new Borborygamos. Like we haven't seen him for a long time.
I know since what, like
Ravnica or something.
Forever ago, yeah.
The Return to Ravnica, maybe. I don't know if there's one there.
It's like okay. Yeah, okay, and then if that wasn't good enough, we have Thalia and the Jatrog monster. Like, okay.
Yeah,
this needs to be a thing. 1 white, black, green for a 4/4 legendary human frog horror creature. It has first strike and death touch. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever Thalia and the Jatrog monster attacks, sacrifice a creature or land, then draw a card.
Yeah, so this is just like literally all of their abilities.
Just all in one. All in one.
Like we needed a more offensive Thalia for 1 more mana.
Yeah, I love to play 1 extra to be able to do this.
Yeah, 1 extra for a 4/4 Thalia. With first strike, death touch, I could play extra lands. All your stuff enters tab.
Yeah.
I could draw some cards when I attack.
Like, okay.
This card is bonkers.
This might be
one of the more expensive cards in the set.
Oh, easily. This is insane. And it's gonna honestly, this is good in a lot of settings of play. So yeah,
it's
expect
like
to see it.
If you play those colors, people are gonna play this card.
Yeah. Expect to see this one for sure.
Next up, we got Zurgo and Ujitai. 2 blue, red, white for a 4/4 legendary creature Orc Dragon, flying in haste. It has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. And whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Then you may return one of those dragons to its owner's hand.
Okay.
So dealing combat damage, putting a card in your hand, and then you could, what if the dragon dealt damage, you can put it in your hand. I don't know why you would do that. This has a good ETB, but...
Yeah. Most likely.
Seems okay. It's okay.
Yeah. This one isn't as crazy as some of the other ones, but it's
still
fine.
5 for a 4/4 flying haster with hexproof.
Yeah.
The turn you play it.
Definitely not bad. It's still got like all the stats and stuff, which is kind of what all these have, so yeah. Next we got Zimone and Dina. It is black, green, blue for a 3/4 legendary human dryad creature. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And then you have tap it, sacrifice another creature, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat this process once.
Yeah, so you'll get 2 draws and 2 land cards.
And 2 extra lands. I mean, if you control 8 or more lands, you don't care as much about the landfall, probably. Right. But drawing cards is good. So.
Yeah, and when you draw your second card, you're making them lose life and you gain life.
Yep.
It seems really good for only 3 mana. Like
3 mana, like come on.
I mean, it is one of 3 different colors, but
yeah,
still seems.
All right. So we got the. Yeah, of course, Ayara would be all 5 colors. Shocking. The Invasion of Ayara. It is Wooburg, all 5 for a siege battle. When Invasion of Ayara enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. Put one of them into your hand. You may cast the other without paying its mana cost. Then put all remaining exile cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. It has a defense of 7.
So this front part is 5 mana. Cast something for 4 or less for free, and the other one goes in your hand. So it's like draw 1, cast 1 for 5.
Draw 1, cast 1.
And then when you defeat it, you get Awaken the Maelstrom. It's a sorcery. So you cast the sorcery when you defeat it. It is all colors. Target player draws 2 cards. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Create a token that's a copy of a permanent you control. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures you control. And destroy target permanent an opponent controls.
So this is like literally something each color does, basically.
Yeah, so it's draw, put an artifact into play, create a token of something, distribute 1/1 counters, and blow up something.
Yeah. This is just do a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
By the way, that's for 5 mana, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I mean, that's really good.
Attacking it for 7, but yeah.
But still, like, that's really good.
Yeah, that's
gross. That's gonna be fun to play against. Next, we have Omnath, Locus of All. It is Wooburg, but the black is a Phyrexian black. It is a 4/4 legendary Phyrexian elemental creature. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes black instead. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card if it has 3 or more colored mana symbols in its mana cost. If you do, add 3 mana in any combination of its colors and put it into your hand. If you don't, reveal it, put it into your hand.
So no matter what, you're drawing a card.
You're drawing it either way, but then if you reveal it, you're getting extra mana.
So it's definitely an interesting way to make Omnath all 5 colors, because the last one was 4 colors.
Yeah.
Now it's all 5, but it's a Phyrexian mana.
Very interesting, yes. All right, and then we have the colorless battle. The
Well, what do you first of all?
invasion.
What do you think about multi?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Multicolor is just ridiculous. Like, this is insane.
They're all nuts, right? Like they're combining all the
Just
creatures.
nuts.
Like the worst card is the Yargle, the 18/6.
Yeah.
Which is saying something if that's the worst card.
The worst card is still 2 points away from killing you in one shot.
Yeah, the worst card is
that's
a
the worst
6 mana
one.
18/6. That's the worst card.
That's pretty insane. To put that lightly. This has got to be one of the most overpowered, multicolored sets I've ever seen in Magic.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
Definitely
this is more overpowered than Ayara was, and Ayara was insane.
Yeah,
Remember
it's gonna be nutso. Especially you're gonna see like a lot of these cards at Commander. I'm assuming like lots of them.
Like every single one.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you play like all of these in Commander? As long as you have the colors for them, and if you have a 5-card Commander, fuck it, put them all in.
Right. Exactly.
Why not?
You just make
They're just so powerful.
Just make a deck. First of all, put Omnath as your commander. Make a deck with all of them in, and just be like, all right, this is the Phyrexian War deck.
Yeah, it's literally just I do Phyrexian War things, and everyone is fighting. I have lots of keywords and lots of power, and I do lots of things. Yeah,
I'm really
this is
pumped
ridiculous.
for the Omnath and the Thalia. Like I'll be playing both of those for sure.
Those are just so good. Like
playing this Omnath in just an Omnath deck seems cool. Like I could put every Omnath in.
Literally every single one. It's just like, yes.
All right, so now on to colorless.
Okay, so colorless. There's a whole whopping 3 cards, but they're all pretty spicy. So here we go. First one is Invasion of Ravnica. It is 5 for a siege battle. When Invasion of Ravnica enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors, and it has defense of 4.
Yeah, and then when you destroy that, you get Guildpact Paragon, which is a 5/5 artifact creature. Whenever you cast a spell that's exactly 2 colors, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a card that's exactly 2 colors from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
So yeah, this is
2-color deck tribal.
Yeah, I mean it's basically a guild deck. For sure, that's kind of what they all were. So definitely fits into that paradigm for sure. Then we have Realmbreaker, the Invasion Tree. It is 3 for a legendary artifact. It has pay 2 and tap it. Target opponent mills 3 cards. Put a land card from their graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. It gains if this land would leave the battlefield. Exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Ooh. Then it has pay 10 and tap it. Sacrifice Realmbreaker, the Invasion Tree. Search your library for any number of Praetor cards. Put them into the battlefield, then shuffle. Yeah, let's just play them all. Just fuck it.
Yes, you can put all 15 Praetors in the deck
for 10 mana. Like, granted, yes, 10 mana is a lot. That's literally an omniscience.
So if you're playing
every
5 colors,
single one.
Yeah, if you're playing 5 colors, you could put all 15 Praetors into play for 10 mana.
Ooh, that's real spicy. That basically just says you win the game right there. Like,
right.
They're gonna have a real hard time dealing with that. Gross.
And then I think this is the last card, right?
This is the last card.
We got the new sword.
New sword.
Once in future, 3 mana for artifact equipment. Equip cost is 2. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from blue and black. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, surveil 2. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell will be put into your graveyard, exile it instead.
So literally you give something flashback, and then you also can search for stuff. Or, yeah, that's...
Well, you surveil 2, so you put 2 cards from the top in the graveyard if you want it.
So you basically find the spells when a flash. Yeah, pretty interesting.
Blue and black, so all the swords are good. So
Yeah, that's a sword. What do you want? typical sword. That is the set. And what a set this is. This is crazy, honestly.
Yeah, this might be a set where I end up having to just buy the complete set because every card seems really good.
Like every single, at least in the rares and mythics, and I'm sure there's probably going to be some pretty strong uncommons too, and maybe even commons. Like I haven't really looked at the other ones, but based on this, like there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. I mean, they're fighting an all-out war, so everybody's showing up with their A game, so everybody's pushed to the max.
Yeah, this is
People are mashing up, teaming up.
This is some of the craziest stuff we've seen, like for a very long time. Like this is going to be a fun set. That's all I got to say.
It's going to be a fun draft format and pre-release as well.
Yeah, it is. Like this might be just like the Dominaria one last year that we loved so much.
Yeah, that one was awesome.
Like this is probably going to be very similar to that. Like for sealed, like this is going to be amazing. So yeah.
Again, if you want to pick up any of these cards, please use our TCG Player affiliate link. You find them in the show notes and our website, mtgplace.net.
We greatly appreciate any support. And like we said, you're probably going to be buying cards anyway.